Most people use Claude Code like a chat box. Type a prompt, wait for output, repeat. And look, it works. But there are over 30 slash commands, 15 keyboard shortcuts, and an entire prompt notation system sitting right there that most people never touch. Things like switching models mid conversation, rewinding bad output without losing context, pasting screenshots directly into the chat, running shell commands in line. The interface you think you know, it's maybe half of what actually there. Let's fix that in next 5 minutes. Let's start with the commands that are going to save your sessions. Because without these, you are going to hit a wall eventually. First one is slash context. It visualizes exactly how much of your context window is used and what is in it. You should always know your headroom, especially before you start something complex. In my case, 75% of the context window is already utilized. Slash compact is probably the one I use most. Every conversation has a context window, and when you are deep in debugging session, you burn through it very fast. When you are around 80% full, run slash compact command with a focus instruction. Example, run slash compact, focus on the auth debug. And Claude compresses everything that came before, keeping what matters. It will drop the noise, you don't lose progress, you just reclaim the headroom. I ran just a slash compact command without any instruction, so it dropped most of the context. So now it has only the context for the recent conversation. After running the slash compact command, the context usage reduced from 75% to 16%. Slash rewind is the one that changes how you use auto accept mode. If Claude makes a change you hate, double escape opens the rewind menu. And here is what people miss. You can undo the conversation or the code changes separately. So you can roll back to the bad edit without losing the conversation that led to it. And then slash cost and slash usage. Because it is very easy to burn through tokens without noticing, especially if you got the fast mode on. Check this regularly. Slash cost shows you how many dollars you spent for this session, and slash usage shows you where you stand against your plan limits. I am using Pro subscription, so it is not showing any cost. If you are using API, then you will be able to see how much cost you spent. Cloud Code has three operating modes, and most people only know one of them. Hit Shift plus Tab and it cycles through all three. You have got normal mode, which asks for permission before touching anything. Auto accept mode, which approves every action automatically. Edit files, run commands, the complete work. And plan mode, which is read only. Claude can look everything, think everything through, but it can't touch any file. It can't edit. For routine tasks you trust, use auto accept. For exploring a code base before committing to anything, use plan mode. For anything where you want to stay in the loop, simply use normal mode. Slash model lets you switch models in mid conversation, and this is actually useful. If you are doing quick questions or formatting work, switch to haiku. It is fast and cheap. When you hit something complex, switch to opus. You don't have to start a new session, just swap the model and keep going. Slash fast toggles fast mode. And the way most people understand this is wrong. It is not a cheaper or dumber model. It is the same opus, just running at roughly 2.5x speed. The trade-off is higher per token cost. So use it when speed matters than the budget for test generation, bulk formatting, anything repetitive where you are just waiting. You have got the right model running in the right mode. Now let's talk about what actually you are typing, because there are whole notation systems sitting right in the prompt box that most people never use. At file name, reference the files directly into a prompt, so no copy paste. Just use at and the path. Claude reads directly, and it costs less context too because Claude fetches only what it needs. Hash node followed by anything, write that node directly into our Claude.md memory. It is how you teach Claude things mid-session without stopping to go to edit it manually. Discover a conversation you want Claude to always follow. Example, I use hash follow the best practices for front-end and back-end which are mentioned in my skills. It fetches Claude skills which are installed, and then it will create a flow and keep it in memory to follow it every time when I ask it to write front end or back end code. So I don't have to re-explain it again. It will directly fetch it and I don't have to manually edit it. Exclamation command runs a shell command in line without leaving the conversation. Example, you want to check the git status or npm test or current working directory, whatever you need. Claude can even see the output if you ask it to. Ampersand starts a background task. You describe what you want, something like ampersand run the full test suite. The Claude starts working on it in the background while you keep going in the main conversation. You can check the status with /task command. It is honestly underused. Now let's talk about some shortcuts. These are the shortcuts that become muscle memory fast because they are faster than any command you can type. Single escape stops whatever Claude is generating. Double escape opens the rewind menu. If you have been manually hitting Ctrl C and hoping for the best, switch to escape. Tab toggles extended thinking, Claude's visible reasoning model, where it works through a problem step by step before answering. It is slower, but for complex tasks, it is noticeably better. Hit Ctrl 0 to show or hide a thinking content if you want to watch the process. Up arrow browses your command history, same as terminal. Control R does reverse search through it. If you have been retyping long prompt, stop. Control V does not only paste the text, it can also paste the image as well directly to the Claude code. Paste a screenshot of an error or a diagram, a UI. Claude reads it. This one sounds obvious but generally changes how you debug visual problems. Everything we have covered so far is inside in a single session. Claude Code saves your sessions and these commands are how you actually manage them. /resume is the big one. It picks up a previous session with all the context intact. The conversation, what Claude knows about your project, where you left off. Yesterday's debugging session, use /resume and you are back in it. /rename gives the current session a meaningful name instead of a timestamp. If you are running multiple sessions for different features, name them, keep them organized. /add adds another directory to Claude's working scope in mid-session. So if you are working across a front-end and back-end repo simultaneously, you don't need separate sessions. You can directly add them to the same session. /doctor runs the environment diagnostics. If something behaves weird, permissions, integrations, MCP servers does not connecting, run this first before you start Googling. It is usually tells you exactly what's broken. And finally, /stats. It generates an HTML usage dashboard, a breakdown of your token usage, cost over time, and session patterns. If you want to optimize your workflow or just satisfy your curiosity about how you are actually using the tool, it's all in there. These are the very useful commands, shortcuts, and a handful of keyboard triggers that most Claude Code users have never touched. In the next episode, we are going one level deeper. You know the commands. Now let's give Claude permanent memory about your project, your conversations, your architecture, your rules. That's Claude.md. And once you set it up right, you never have to re-explain your code base again. Every session starts knowing everything you have already told it. Imagine an AI that actually remembers you. That is next. Wait for it.